but to test, where the believer's task was not blind obedience, but faithful endurance. Was the fall of Lucifer the truth of Scripture or the lie of empire? Was it revelation or manipulation? And if the myth of the fall was indeed a tool of control, then we must ask, what does Ethiopia's forbidden version reveal that empire tried to hide? Stay with me, because in the next chapter, we will open those hidden books themselves, the scriptures Rome erased, and see what they say about angels, about evil, and about the true story behind Lucifer. Chapter 8. Scriptures Rome erased. The Bible. You hold in your hands is powerful, but have you ever wondered why it has exactly the number of books it does? Who decided which texts remained and which were cast aside? And more dangerously, what truths might have been buried when certain books were erased? In Ethiopia, the answer still survives. Their Bible is not the same as the one carried in Rome, Geneva, or Canterbury. Theirs holds 81 books, far larger than the 66 of the Protestant canon and still broader than the Catholic version. Why? Because Ethiopia never submitted to Rome's scissors. They preserved the books that empire erased. Among them is the Book of Enoch. This ancient work tells of angels who descended to earth, corrupted mankind, and gave birth to giants, the Nephilim. It describes heavenly secrets, visions of God's throne, and prophecies of the Messiah that predate Jesus by centuries. For the Ethiopian church, Enoch was never apocrypha. It was scripture. They read it in their liturgy. They taught it to their children. When Rome dismissed it as fantasy, Ethiopia kept it as truth. Then there is the Book of Jubilees, sometimes called the Little Genesis. This text retells the story of creation, the flood and the patriarchs, with shocking details that explain the movements of angels, the cycles of time, and the cosmic battle raging before humanity was even born. Jubilees insists that history follows sacred rhythms, that the story of the world is not random, but ordered by God in set times and jubilees. Rome erased it. Ethiopia cherished it. And these are not the only ones. The Ethiopian canon contains books of wisdom, visions of heaven, and accounts of spiritual battles that the Western Church quietly buried. Why were they erased? Not because they lacked truth, but because they revealed too much. They spoke too openly about angels and demons, about the rebellion of heaven, about the hidden structures of creation. They lifted the veil on mysteries the empire preferred to keep closed. The apostles themselves quoted from these so-called forbidden books. Jude quotes directly from Enoch. The New Testament echoes Jubilees. Early Christians knew these texts, but by the time Rome consolidated its power, these voices were silenced. Why? Because they did not fit the theology of control. They painted a universe alive with cosmic conflict where empires were not the highest authority, where angels and watchers shaped the destinies of nations.